Excuse me for getting real here for a second. It is November 1st, 2018, and I am effing exhausted. I'm tired. I'm fed up. I'm worn out. I'm angry on the verge of crying. Mostly just angry. I honestly just want to, I really don't feel like living anymore. I don't. Don't worry about me. I'm not suicidal, and I don't want to die. I love my dad. I love, living, and I think I have a lot of potential, but we all get overwhelmed. We all get stressed out, and as a healthcare consumer, you get really frustrated. As a family member that's advocating or caring for somebody that's a healthcare consumer, you get very frustrated. And as a professional, I get where they have their legitimate exhaustions and frustrations, and I also get that, I understand why they would be angry at me for asking questions. I don't understand why they'd be angry at me for asking questions, but here's what I am, here's what I'm not. I worked for 4 years as a certified nurse assistant. So I went to school. It was just a class. I got my job, a nurse assistant. I worked closely with nurses in 2 years in a nursing home and 2 years in a hospital, med surge. So, and the nursing home was very much like geriatric psych. So I definitely you get exposed to people that have problems with their brains and they have behavioral difficulties. So that's kind of experience there. And then you go to the hospital, and sometimes I'd have to sit with the patients that needed to be monitored in the ERs. They waited to get a bed on the psych unit. And, so I get that I don't have a master's degree. I'm not a nurse. I'm not a psychologist, a therapist, or whatever. But I am a family member. Because of my mom, because of my brother, because of my uncle, all that. I am a daughter of somebody with a problem. I am somebody that has issues, with dual diagnosis, with a lot of mental health diagnosis, bipolar disorder, depression, anxiety, PTSD, possible borderline. If you go to enough doctors, you'll get enough diagnoses. Yeah, I get that. So, if you're frustrated, please tell me. Tell somebody. Tell somebody that you're angry, and hold them accountable, because I want to get back into the field. I want to be a psych nurse, or I want to probably a psych nurse, or a psychiatric nurse practitioner, back to the original plan. I want to know what my patients are mad about, what they're frustrated about. I want to know where we're dropping the ball at, because I have ideas, and when I pose those questions or bring up points, and get slighted or shut down, and that's how I interpret it anyways. Yeah, I'm going to leave something feeling slighted and upset, especially considering I have all these other things going on in my life. So when somebody looks at me and they see that, oh God, she's just manic, she's just this, she's just that, it's like, no. And they know that's an unfair assumption. We are tired as patients of being pawned off to somebody, and just, even the one parent, there was a parent that complained about it. She's like, I just feel like they only want to pick and choose the easy patients, the cases that they want. I'm like, you know what? That's a very legitimate complaint, because a lot of healthcare practitioners, they see you, without even saying a word, they come to a conclusion, they draw a diagnosis, and they pawn you off, and they refer you to another program. That's very dismissive and just bad practice, because you don't know. If you don't listen and you have to give your patients the benefit of the doubt, you don't know what's going on in their life. So hold these people accountable, let me know. If you don't want to talk to, if you have questions about where to go or who to talk to, please, 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 please. If you have something that I'm doing wrong, let me know. I want to be the best nurse possible, because someday I might be treating these people, and no matter what, it seems like no matter where I go, when I do go out, I encounter somebody with mental health problems or substance abuse problems, and they inevitably talk to me, even if I don't talk to them. So that's why everybody kind of needs to take some responsibility in knowing about these things and getting educated. But the family, and if the resources that we're sending them to are not meeting that need, then of course they're going to get frustrated. Of course they're going to give up. Of course the treatment's it's ineffective, period. And what you do when something is ineffective and you're nursing, you constantly evaluate yourself, and you constantly adapt, and you change practice, and you do what you need to do to always meet your patient's needs. That is my top priority. And I'll continue to do that until the day I die, whether or not I have patients or not. Because if one day I go to one place and it's all mental health consumers, and I'm doing a role-playing exercise where I'm told to be the doctor or the therapist or whatever, and they're clapping for me, and the people that aren't ill are telling me to go to school, then I need to get into this field, or I need to do that, and then the next day I have therapists writing me off, well, that says something, because I'm reaching the patients, or at least those patients, and they're pissing a patient off. That's just, honestly, excuse the language if it offends you, but that's just the truth. And on top of all the other things going on in my life right now, it's not very comforting. But just make sure that you let these people know what you need. You don't let them get away with excuses, and you do what you need to do at all costs for your care, and that goes with any illness. One more thing about that is, when I was a CNA, a lot of the other CNAs hated me. But the nurses I worked under and I worked with, and the patients I worked with, they had a tendency to really like me. And I'm not saying that to be cocky or anything. I'm saying that because they told me. They wrote thank you letters. They did this, they did that. I didn't see any other CNAs getting those. I have several, and they're more valuable to me than money, because it means that I made a difference in their life and their care. And some of them said I was the only one that did this or that or whatever, and I was just a CNA. I was just a nurse assistant. I did the most basic things. So for them to go out of their way to say thank you to me, that says that I was doing something right. If they're all requesting me, that means I'm doing something right. So if I'm pissing off my future colleagues, maybe I'm doing something right, because I'm reaching the patients, apparently. That's where I'm at today. Sorry.